Okay, so carrying on with our rape myths, the myth that women can resist. This is a pretty common myth that, well, if she didn't want to be raped, if she sincerely didn't want it, she can fight him off. She would fight him off, and she would, not have to be raped, right? Um, if we look at the age of the victim in most rapes, we're looking at the most common age bracket being 12 to 17, which is not a woman's strongest period of her life anyway, and then 18 to 24. So we're looking at this age group between 12 and 24 where women have, opportunities to be places and go do stuff and new experiences and things like that. Sometimes to engage in some, behaviors that can alter their judgment, like drinking and things like that. And then put them in contact with people who maybe have ill intent, who aren't going to see them as valuable people who deserve to be able to say no if they want. Okay, so we look at this 12 to 24-year-old young woman who maybe a male partner has, or male acquaintance has decided to take advantage of or to force. Let's just assume that the rapist is the same age as the victim. Let's just say that. On average, during this age bracket that we're looking at, 12 to 24, and for sure, actually for the rest of a woman's life, men are significantly stronger than women on average. So, and women oftentimes who are really strong, they're strong in their lower body. And men who are even moderately or kind of just normal male strength, not even like they don't necessarily consider themselves that strong compared to other men, will be much stronger in their upper body. And so, yeah, women have great endurance and have great lower body strength. But if a man who has bigger hands than she does tries to hold both of her hands in one of his and control her, it's really hard for her to resist. It's really, really hard. I always joke that men have monkey strength compared to women because monkeys are like 10 times stronger than men. Well, men, I don't know if they're 10 times stronger than women, but they do have on average this upper body leverage that allows them to dominate women in ways that a lot of times women don't really appreciate how hard it would be to legitimately fight off someone who legitimately has an intent to hurt. A lot of times we practice with people who we care about and we wouldn't really want to hurt them and they wouldn't really want to hurt us, and we come to the conclusion, yeah, I could fight somebody off, and then we realize, unfortunately, if we get into the situation, that the truth is it's pretty easy to control somebody with your body weight or with your greater hand strength, stuff like that. So relying on a woman to fight off an attacker is a little bit misguided. Probably she can't fight him off. How about the myth that women falsely accuse men of rape when a rape didn't really occur? The I thought I had a picture of the Duke lacrosse team here, but I seem not to have it. Because there are high profile times when women have accused men of rape, and then later it was discovered irrefutably that there was no way that rape occurred the way that the woman described it. In the Duke lacrosse case, a woman reported that she had come to the Duke lacrosse end of season party or whatever they were doing, and I think she was supposed to be like entertainment, like she's supposed to be an exotic dancer or something. I can't really remember exactly why she was there, but she claims that she was gang raped while she was at the party. And she went and got a rape kit done and everything, and it come to find out the DNA that they found in her did not match anyone who was at the party, no one that she accused, no one that it matched her boyfriend. So seeing cases like that makes people think, well, I mean, women probably do that all the time. Well, come to find out, it happens very, very, very rarely. In fact, that's why it makes news, is because it happens so rarely. It's huge news when a woman accuses someone of rape, and then there's, we can irrefutably establish that a rape did not occur. Generally, the problem isn't that women falsely accuse, it's that women underreport. This is thought to be the most underreported crime. And you can kind of imagine why. If you have all these rape myths swirling around, let's say that a person gets raped and they don't have any bruises on their body. They had gone to the rapist's apartment voluntarily. Maybe there'd been a little bit of sexual activity before, like I said, kissing or something like that. Uh, and then there was a rape that took this past where the victim wanted. The victim pled and didn't want this to happen, but it happened. Can you imagine the thoughts that go through the victim's mind as they're trying to decide whether they should report or not, and whether they think they're going to be believed, and whether it's really worth it to go through the steps that it would take to report? It's much less likely that a woman will report an actual acquaintance rape than it is that she will falsely accuse someone of a rape. Which brings us to the issue of stranger rape. It's very rare for a rape to be committed by a stranger. It's almost always someone who the victim knows. Almost always. So we have a picture of the different kinds of rape and how the person was related to them: stranger, husband or ex-husband, father or stepfather, boyfriend, other relative, friend, classmate. And then other non-relatives. So if you lump all the people who the person actually knows, right, which would be everybody but stranger, we're looking at about 80% of rapes are committed by people that the victim knows in one way or another. The yellow bars show us those times when there was drug or alcohol involved, and then the blue shows us when it was a forcible rape. With a stranger rape, it is almost always, a victim who has some amount of altered awareness of her environment. And then there are a lot of forcible rapes in those scenarios. With the non-relatives, you'll notice that forcible rape is roughly equal to the drug or facilitated levels. You'll see that with the friend, drug or alcohol facilitated is way more likely than forcible. And that's where it starts to get muddy and murky for the victim, and that's probably why they don't report very frequently, is because it starts to get muddy. If you have a forcible rape, it's more likely that the person will report it, because they know they did not ask for it. They know that there's nothing confusing about it. There's nothing, this is not what I wanted. I made it clear the whole time. When it's a boyfriend or a friend or other non-relative that I spend time with, a classmate, something like that, it starts to get murky, because it's like, this is a person I was spending time with. Maybe we were flirting. Maybe we, engaged in some kinds of sexual activity, and then it went where I didn't want it to go. And then there's this confusion that the victim can feel about whether they'll be believed, and about whether they set out the wrong signals, and so was this my fault? And all sorts of thoughts go through the victim's head. And so it makes it less likely that they'll report. All men are capable of rape. This is a complete myth. It turns out that the vast majority of men would never rape a victim in any way, shape, or form. There are a few things that make certain men more likely to become rapists. One is their sex role socialization. If they've been socialized to believe that they're the king of the castle, that men are dominant, that men can do what they want, if they've been socialized to believe that, it makes it more likely that they will feel entitled in a sexual encounter to do whatever they want. If you have a person who really adheres to rape myths, if you have a man who firmly believes, that women ask for it, that if women are dressed like that, they want it. If a woman says no, that just means try harder. If they really adhere to these rape myths, it makes it more likely that they'll become rapists. If they know that they are not going to get punished if they get caught, if they know that people are never going to believe the victim, if they know that the society in which they dwell really doesn't take rape seriously, that makes it more likely that they'll adhere to rape behavior. If the men around them support these kinds of callous attitudes towards women, I really searched the internet to find any pictures that would imply that you had men who were like egging each other on or something, and all I could find was men all wearing the same colored shirt, and come to find out is these are all men are wearing only do it with consent, so they're actually supporting each other against rape myths, which is a really great thing that I couldn't find any easily located obvious evidence of male peer support for rape and rape myths. Pornography, now not just generally pornography, but pornography that shows domination, pornography that shows force, pornography that dehumanizes the woman in particular in the videos, that kind of thing. That kind of pornography has been associated with increased rates of sexual violence. Adversarial sexual beliefs, where he's supposed to try as hard as he can to get whatever he wants, and she's supposed to pretend like she doesn't want to. That kind of attitude, the belief that he's supposed to keep push, and she's supposed to pretend to deny, leads some men to think this is a game and we're just, or a dance, maybe would be a better way of saying it, like this is a dance and I'm leading, and sometimes I have to lead her where she's pretending like she doesn't want to go. Having a lack of empathy. Got a nice Darth Vader picture for that, right? Not feeling what your victim is feeling, not being able to put yourself in their position. And that's part of that dehumanization that I was mentioning. Belonging to groups that are all male can really fuel all of these things that I've been describing here. Fraternities are renowned for having, rapes at their parties and things like that, because you've got men who will egg each other on in these kinds of situations, and sports teams can do it also. Now, any one of these things by itself is not likely to breed rapist attitudes in a man. It's all of these things together that really can contribute, or several of these things all at one time can really contribute. But probably, any individual man has one of these things here and would never be a rapist. The vast majority of men would never conceive of forcing someone. Most men are so concerned about their partner enjoying the sexual contact as much as they do that they would never act like this. So I just really want to make clear that everybody who's listening, it's really important to take every person as an individual, and not try and generalize by sex or generalize by membership or any of those kinds of things. And then, be really, really super aware of what's going on. So let's go ahead and stop there. We'll come back in the next segment. We'll talk about child sexual abuse, another uplifting topic.